Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the 2-Minute Drill. My name is Clay Cook and today we will be covering every game of the NFL in under 2 minutes. This week we're covering week 8 of the NFL. Before I begin, let's see how I did with last week's picks. 10-3. Not bad at all. Let's see if I can keep that success going into week 8. One last thing I'd like to clarify before we dive right into this is that from here on out, we will only be covering Sunday's games. If you're looking for the Thursday night game or the Monday night game, head over to my Twitter at 2_minute drill to see those picks and predictions. Once again, today and from here on out, we will only be covering Sunday's games. Monday and Thursday's games will be on my Twitter at 2_minute drill. With all that being taken care of, 3 timeouts in my back pocket, 2 minutes on the clock. Our 2-minute drill starts now. Starting off week 8, we have the Miami Dolphins taking on the Buffalo Bills. I'm pretty sure we can all agree here. Miami's really been struggling the past couple weeks. I'm going to be taking the Buffalo Bills this week. Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Carolina Panthers coming off of a 4-game losing streak and still no Christian McCaffrey in the lineup. Atlanta fans, I thought it was a one-time deal, but I guess not. I'm going to take Atlanta this week. Let's move on. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cleveland Browns. Last week, Cleveland showed us that they could win even with an entirely second-string offense. I'm taking Cleveland in this one. Moving along, we have the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the New York Jets. Pretty obvious in this one. We're taking the Bengals. Let's move on. Next up, we have the Tennessee Titans on the road taking on the Indianapolis Colts, and I'm going to burn my first time out. This game has so much potential to be great. It's not even funny. Once again, Madden creative player Derrick Henry showed us just how dominant he is, as well as telling the Tennessee Titans organization that he could play quarterback if they need him to. Who needs Ryan Tannehill? However, the Colts, on the other hand, have been playing really good football. I don't think that their record shows just how good of a team they really are. I mean, they've lost a lot of close matchups against really good teams like the Ravens, the Rams, the Seahawks with Russell Wilson, and oh yeah, the Tennessee Titans. Look, this game's going to be great. I'm going to take the Titans here, but it's a really tough pick. Either way, the game's going to be great, and I'm really excited for it. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Detroit Lions. Look, this game's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people believe. I'm going to take the Eagles, but don't be surprised if the Detroit Lions come away and get their first win this week. Moving along, we have the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Bears. I really want to take the Bears here, but I just don't think I can. They have no offensive line to protect Justin Fields, and they just lost their head coach to COVID. Now, that last one might be a little beneficial for the team, but that front four in San Francisco is absolutely no joke. I'm taking San Francisco. Wrapping up the 1 o'clock games, we have the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Houston Texans. Look, no questions here. We're taking the Rams. Let's move on. Moving along to the 4 o'clock games, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Seattle Seahawks. This one's a tough one. However, I think the Seattle Seahawks are starting to find their groove even without Russ, so I'm going to take the Seahawks. Moving along, we have the New England Patriots taking on the LA Chargers, and I'm going to burn my second time out. Don't count the Patriots out. I know that this game is going to be really close. I know that the LA Chargers are a good team and a very talented team, but don't count the Patriots out. They've competed against 2 of the best teams in the NFL in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys, and they're showing a lot of signs of growth. Granted, last week was a fluke game against the Jets. Anybody could have won that game, but don't count the Patriots out. And I know that this may sound a little hypocritical, but I'm going to take the Chargers here only because they're the home team. I don't think that this game's going to be the blowout like everybody else might be assuming. Don't count the Patriots out, but I'm going to take the Chargers only because they're the home team. If this game was taking place in New England, I think it'd be a different story. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the New Orleans Saints, and I'm going to take the Bucs here because the New Orleans Saints have absolutely no consistency, and I cannot trust them to pick them. Gonna take Tampa Bay. Wrapping up the 4 o'clock games, we have the Washington football team taking on the Denver Broncos, and I'm taking the Washington football team because the Broncos are a bunch of frauds and they're bad. Don't listen to the hype. They are bad. Finishing off our Sunday slate, we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm going to burn my 3rd and final timeout. Listen, this game is going to be really good and really close. However, the Dallas Cowboys have the 8th best run defense in the league, and if they're able to contain and stop Dalvin Cook, the Minnesota Vikings are going to struggle. I'm going to take the Cowboys. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was your 2-minute drill. Let me know what you think about my picks down below. Tell me which ones I nailed and which ones I overthrew. Be sure to check me out on Twitter at 2_minute drill for my Thursday night and Monday night football picks and predictions. I'm Clay Cook. This has been the 2-minute drill. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.